Have you ever wondered what happens to the people who tried to break someone chosen by God? The ones who lied on your name like it was nothing, who mocked your pain, betrayed your trust, and tried to tear down everything you were building. What happens to them when the dust settles and the person they targeted doesn't just survive, but rises? Let's be real. They did everything they could to destroy you. They twisted your words, weaponized your kindness, and turned your love into ammunition. They laughed at your tears and smiled while watching you fall. They built their confidence on your pain and thought they'd walk away untouched. But here's what they never saw coming: the silence. That sacred, unbothered, divine silence. The moment you stopped explaining, defending, or reacting, something powerful began to move. You didn't say a word, but the universe did. And now, it's their turn to feel everything they put you through. Because when you're chosen, your silence becomes a roar in the spiritual realm. Your stillness becomes your strategy. They thought you went quiet because you lost. But really, that's when you started to win. You didn't have to expose them. Life is doing it for you. You didn't have to fight back. Karma already had your back. While you were healing in the dark, they were creating a trap that they themselves would fall into. They thought your tears made you weak, but they only watered your roots. They thought your love was naive, but it was sacred. They thought you were just another light they could dim, another empath to drain. But the truth is, you were the one thing they couldn't destroy. You were the test, and they failed. And now, they're living with that failure. One sleepless night, one blocked blessing, one lost opportunity at a time. You didn't rise by clapping back or exposing their lies. You rose because you stayed true. You rose because your energy never lied. You didn't trade darkness for darkness. You became the light. And now, the same mouths that cursed you are dry with gossip. The same eyes that rolled when you walked in are watching you ascend. The same hands that tried to tear you down are now trembling, desperate for stability in a life that's crumbling fast. And here's the part they'll never admit. They know it's because of you. They know the reason everything is falling apart is because they came for someone they should have never touched. They know their obsession backfired. They know that while they were watching your every move, waiting for you to break, they were actually witnessing their own downfall in slow motion. You see, they weren't just trying to ruin your reputation. They were trying to erase your purpose. But what they didn't realize is that your purpose can't be touched. It's divine. And now, the very energy they used to curse you is circling back with interest. That's the law. That's the balance. That's karma. Relentless, divine, and personal. And you? You're free. You're focused. You're untouchable. Because you didn't just survive their betrayal, you transformed through it. You let the pain teach you. You let the silence shape you. And now you walk with power they'll never understand. The get back wasn't loud. It wasn't petty. It was sacred. It was spiritual. It was silent. And it's still unfolding. So keep shining. Keep glowing. Let your life continue to be the loudest revenge. Let your joy confuse them. Let your peace disturb their demons. Because the same people who once laughed at your struggle are now haunted by the memory of how they treated you. And they know they can't come back. Not now. Not ever. Because the glow up wasn't just personal, it was prophetic. They weren't cursed. You didn't cast a spell. No dark ritual was done behind the scenes. What's happening to them now has nothing to do with magic. It's simply the outcome of their own choices. It's not superstition. It's spiritual law. Every lie they told added weight to their spirit. Every betrayal chipped away at the structure of their life. Every act of manipulation, every time they stole, every smear campaign they launched, every fake apology they offered, it all created small cracks that over time weakened everything they built. They thought they were getting ahead, winning, outsmarting you. But now, slowly and quietly, everything is collapsing. Their finances are falling apart. Their energy is depleted. Their friendships are failing. Their relationships are breaking. And they don't understand why. So they blame the devil. They blame karma. They panic and say someone hexed them. They start burning sage and looking for answers in the stars. But the truth is simpler, more direct, and far more humbling. What they're experiencing isn't the result of bad luck or curses. It's justice, divine justice, the kind that moves slowly, but always arrives, the kind that doesn't forget, the kind that watches everything quietly until it's time to balance the scales. They laughed at your pain. They bragged about how they broke you. They mocked your tears. They told themselves they won. But the story wasn't over. Now they're watching everything around them collapse. Doors are closing one after another. Friends they once relied on are turning cold. Opportunities are drying up. Every attempt to rebuild ends in confusion. Every effort falls flat. They think the universe turned against them. But really, they're just meeting the consequences of everything they did. Spiritual law doesn't play favorites. When you cross someone who was sent into your life as a blessing, when you hurt someone who was divinely protected, the fallout isn't immediate, but it's guaranteed. And now it's their turn to face what they created. You didn't have to fight. You didn't scream. You didn't throw dirt back. You just walked away. You stayed silent. And that silence was louder than anything you could have said. Because it was in that moment, when you left, that the covering lifted. They didn't realize your presence was their protection. They thought they were strong on their own. They thought they could throw you away and still stay blessed. But now they know. You weren't the problem. You were the blessing. You were the anchor keeping their world from falling apart. And the moment they dishonored you, they severed their own safety net. They're unraveling. Their thoughts are racing. Guilt is creeping in. They can't focus. They can't rest. Their creativity is gone. Their peace is gone. The very storm they tried to unleash on you is now circling back to them. But this isn't the kind of destruction that's loud or visible. It's quiet. It's mental. It's emotional. They're falling apart from the inside out. They can't distract themselves anymore. No amount of gossip or noise can drown out what they're feeling. The silence is deafening. And it's not peaceful. It's punishment. It's filled with every lie they told, every mask they wore, every seed of doubt they planted, every time they manipulated someone who truly loved them. And it's not just what they did, it's who they lost. Because the one thing they never thought would happen is happening. They lost access to you. You were the mirror. You showed them who they really were. And now that you're gone, they're left to face themselves. And what they see, they can't stand it. The mask is slipping. The truth is too loud. The guilt is too heavy. They don't miss you. They miss the light you carried, the peace you brought, the way your energy covered up all their brokenness. But they didn't value it when they had it. They used it, drained it, took it for granted. And now that it's gone, their life is unrecognizable. What's breaking them now isn't just the consequences. It's your healing. It's the fact that you moved on without revenge. You forgave them. And in doing so, you took away their ability to justify their actions. They can't tell themselves you're bitter. They can't pretend they're the victim. You didn't fight back. You grew. You rose. You healed. And that left them exposed, with no one to blame, no one to point fingers at, just themselves. And what's underneath all the lies and excuses? Regret, shame, and a kind of spiritual madness that they can't run from anymore. They still post like everything is fine. They still smile in front of others. But their soul is falling apart. Their eyes are hollow. Their wins feel empty. Even when good things happen, they don't feel it. Because once you've lost divine favor, even success tastes like ash. You can gain the world and still feel miserable. That's where they are now. The same mind that mocked you is now tormenting them. The same mouth that twisted the truth can't even speak honestly to itself. The darkness they pretended didn't exist is now their only friend. You didn't destroy them. You didn't need to. They did it to themselves. They thought you were just another person, another lesson. But you were more than that. You were the final test. You were the last chance. You weren't just another person crossing their path. You were the moment the universe said, "This is it. Choose wisely." But they didn't choose wisely. They chose ego. They chose pride. They chose betrayal. And in doing so, they rejected the very hand that could have saved them. That's why nothing is working for them now. That's why every door they knock on stays closed. Because when you betray someone sent to bless you, you don't just lose a person, you lose favor. They violated something sacred. And now that divine protection has been lifted, they're on their own. They had signs, warnings, dreams. Their intuition told them you were different. Their soul knew your spirit was rare, but they ignored it. They moved recklessly. They played with something that was never meant to be played with. And now, the silence they feel is the universe's answer. No guidance, no peace, no breakthroughs, just spiritual silence. Because they didn't just cross you, they crossed the spiritual boundary. And when that happens, the consequences aren't just immediate, they're lasting. And now, as their world falls apart, they'll come crawling back. They'll show up with soft words, tears, and apologies. They'll say they've changed, but don't fall for it. They don't miss you. They miss the covering. They miss the safety your light brought. They miss the peace your presence created. But they didn't want you. They just wanted the protection that came with you. And now that it's gone, they're scrambling. But this isn't redemption. It's desperation. They don't want to heal. They want to escape the storm. But the storm is theirs to face. Don't rescue them. Don't let your compassion confuse your mission. You were sent to teach, not to save. They had their chance. They had your love. your grace, your patience, and they wasted it. What they're feeling now, that's their harvest. That's the natural return on the seeds they planted. If you interfere, if you let them back in, you'll inherit storms that were never yours. You'll start sinking in pain that doesn't belong to you. You'll lose your peace, your clarity, your strength, because you stepped into a place the universe already sealed. Your job isn't to rescue them. It's to protect yourself. Some of them went even further. They didn't just hurt you. They went after what was sacred. The children, the innocent, the pure. And in doing so, they crossed a line that even the darkest forces won't touch. When someone targets innocence, the universe doesn't whisper, it roars. Some tried to use your children to hurt you. Some spoke curses over unborn potential. Some tried to destroy purity with jealousy and bitterness. That wasn't just evil. That was spiritual war. And now their punishment isn't just personal. It's generational. Their lineage is unraveling. Their bloodline is spiritually dry. Opportunities fade. Health declines. Peace disappears. And they don't understand why. But you do. They touched what should never be touched. And now everything connected to them is falling apart. You cried in silence. You begged for answers. You healed without help. And now, it's their turn to sit in the silence they created. Not the kind of silence that soothes. The kind that screams. The kind that plays back every betrayal, every lie, every smirk, every moment they thought they won. That silence is now their prison. They're watching you rise from a distance. They see you glowing, thriving, becoming untouchable. And it haunts them, not because they didn't know your worth, but because they did and tried to destroy it anyway. Now the universe is finishing what it started. Justice is already here. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to watch. Let go completely, not just with your hands, with your heart, with your spirit, because the universe is handling everything. Slowly, silently, perfectly. What they try to build from your brokenness will crumble, not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, deeply, in ways they can't even explain. And they'll know exactly why. Not because you cursed them, but because they crossed the one thing they should have honored. You owe them nothing, not your forgiveness, not your attention, not your return. They had your love and threw it away. They had your light and tried to snuff it out. Now they want comfort from the same hands they tried to crush. Absolutely not. Now, you owe yourself your joy, your peace, your softness, your glow, everything you gave away to people who didn't deserve it. Now it belongs to you. Let the universe finish what it started. Let the silence echo. Let the consequences do the teaching. You were never the villain. You were the test, the blessing, the turning point, and their downfall. That's not your weight. That's their karma. So protect your peace. Keep your light bright. And never apologize for being chosen.